Hello friends, welcome back to my witchy kitchen. I'm Sandy, your crafty vegan witch. Thanks for joining me here today. We're going to be making bruschetta, which is one of my all-time favorites and so easy. Make it in just a couple of minutes with very simple ingredients. Now I have some cherry tomatoes. You can use larger tomatoes if you like, but I really love the flavor of the cherry tomatoes in the bruschetta. And they're much easier to dice up as well. We're going to be using fresh basil. I love basil. It is one of my favorites. Smells so good. If you can't get fresh basil, you can of course use dried basil. It's not going to be nearly as good, but if that's all you can get and you're craving some bruschetta, I have used it before. Then I have some fresh cloves of garlic. Hello, Karma. This is my kitty, Karma, coming to say hi. Anyway, we have some fresh cloves of garlic here. You can use, you know, the pre-crushed garlic if you like to, but I really prefer, again, the flavor of the fresh garlic. But if all I have is a little jar of crushed garlic in the fridge and I want bruschetta, I'll use that and the dried basil. I'm home by myself tonight, so this is my dinner, a little treat for myself. I've got some gluten-free sourdough bread that I'll be toasting later to put this on top of. Like I said, it's also great as a salad on just a big bed of greens, or to add some other veggies. I do sometimes shredded carrots with the greens and top it with the bruschetta. Oh, so yummy. So anyway, let's get started. Now, first of all, you want a nice sharp knife for cutting your tomatoes. If you don't have a nice sharp knife, which many of us do not, then a serrated knife is my recommendation for cutting tomatoes. It's going to cut through them. You don't want to smash all of your tomatoes and just have tomato juice in the bruschetta. So I'm going to be quartering these. So you see they're kind of a larger size of the cherry tomatoes. If they're really small ones, if you get lucky to get small enough, you can just half them. Hello, I am so sorry. My camera does not like to focus. Naughty camera. Okay, anyway, so we are going to quarter the tomatoes. So if they're really small, you can just cut them in half. But you do want them nice and small. And of course, if you're cutting larger tomatoes, then make sure you're dicing them in small pieces. I've mentioned that you could do the bruschetta on toast or on salad. If you're taking it on a picnic, you could also take, you know, some little crackers, or the little like pita chips that they have would be really good. I'm gluten-free, so I would not take those. The bruschetta is great even on its own. I have ate it just by the spoonful. You can put it on pasta. I make a vegan chickpea omelet. This would be delicious on top of the omelet with some cashew cheese drizzled on top. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Now, once you finish dicing your tomatoes, you'll want to transfer those into the bowl that you're making your bruschetta in. So now we have our tomatoes. Next, we're going to dice up the basil. Basil. Have I mentioned I love basil? I do love basil. Okay, now what I do whenever I am using basil in a recipe, because basil is beautiful, it smells good, and it is a beautiful plant. So I go through and I find the prettiest tip that I can and break it off. This is going to be my garnish on my finished dish, and yes, even if it's just for me, I am going to garnish it with this beautiful piece of basil. Smells so good. Girls don't need flowers, buy them basil. So you'll want to pick all of the leaves off the stems. We're not going to be using the stems in the bruschetta. You can save that for a soup stock. I always save all of my scraps when I'm dicing veggies or, you know, fresh herbs. Put them in some sort of a container. I will store them in the freezer, just adding, you know, the scraps as I go along. And once my bag gets full, then I will boil those down. You could throw them in a crock pot for the day or boil them on the stovetop. But the basil being in your soup stock would add really nice flavor. So now I'm going to dice up the basil. Of course, you're gonna want small pieces. You don't want gigantic basil leaves in your bruschetta, or maybe you do. And if you do, that's fine. Leave big leaves in there. I personally do not. I like to, in everything that I cook, really, I dice it up very small. I think I got in the habit of that when my kids were younger and they didn't want to eat veggies. So I would just cut up everything really small so they had no idea what was in it. They just thought it tastes good. My son, who's now 13, once was watching me make dinner, and everything I put in there, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I'm like, well, you love this. I know. I don't like any of the stuff you're putting in this, but this is my favorite food to make. So with children, just a handy tip there. You know, if you're trying to get them to eat their veggies and be more creative, if it looks weird to a child, they're not going to eat it. But if you dice it up, mix it with some yummy sauce or some cashew cheese, you can get kids to eat about anything. I used to make pizzas for my kids and I would put the veggies underneath the cheese so they had no idea. Then they kind of started catching on to that, so I just started loading my sauce with lots and lots of veggies. I will share that sauce recipe with you soon. It is so delicious. I make pasta and pizza. Oh my God, so good. I love that. Could drink it. So we're going to put our basil now in with our tomatoes. Yummy! Basil and tomatoes, two of my favorite things. Now with your garlic, you can use a garlic press if you like, or you can dice it up, like mince it up, not dice it up. You are gonna wanna mince it fairly small. And I like chunks of garlic, but not really big chunks. Of course, a garlic press is much easier than this, but my garlic press sucks. So I am just gonna dice it up, and it gets me the larger pieces of garlic, which are so delicious. I love them. Now I am putting 4 cloves of garlic in with 1 box of cherry tomatoes. You can put less garlic if that's too much garlic for you. If you are a garlic lover, you can put more. I'll be tasting this before I put it in the fridge to marinate to make sure it has enough garlic in it. Be very careful if you do mince up your garlic. Do not cut your fingers. Okay, so once your garlic's all minced up, you can add it to the bruschetta. Oh, this looks so yummy, and this smells, oh, this smells so good. Sometimes I think I enjoy the smell of food as much as I enjoy eating it. Okay, so next here, we are going to be adding organic olive oil and organic balsamic vinegar. With these, it's going to be a matter of preference. You want to add a generous amount so that it's saucy. This is going to be your dressing if you use it as a salad. And if you put it on bread, you're going to want the oil and the vinegar to soak into the bread to give you that nice flavor. So you will put this in the refrigerator for about an hour to marinate. You can leave it longer. The longer it stays, the more the flavors are going to come out. One thing I really like to do with the bruschetta is to use my cashew cream cheese, recipe coming up, and put it on the bread first. I have some sourdough bread I'll be toasting with this, so I'll put a little bit of the cashew cream cheese on it, and then I'll top it with the bruschetta and probably sprinkle some hemp seeds on top of that. So yummy. I'm so looking forward to this tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little more olive oil. So I like to get mine, I like to have lots of oil and vinegar in there. The balsamic I love. If you are not a fan of balsamic, you can use different vinegars in here. You could use coconut vinegar or apple cider vinegar if you're trying to be a little bit healthier with this recipe. But nothing, well, I'll just tell you, nothing is going to compare with the balsamic in the bruschetta. It is awesome. And here we go. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful, delicious. Smells so good. So I will put this in the fridge. And then later tonight, I'm gonna toast my bread, put a little of the cashew cream cheese on it, and top it with the bruschetta. Oh, So yummy. I really hope that you've enjoyed this recipe today. I hope that you'll give it a try and let me know what you think. How delicious is it? So yummy. Thanks so much to everyone who has commented on my videos so far and to all of my subscribers. If you are not yet a subscriber, what are you waiting for? Now's your time. Subscribe below. You guys want to see the finished product? My yummy, delicious bruschetta dinner. Oh my God, this is so good. I cannot wait to take a bite. Let's see how yummy is this. Messy. Oh my God. Oh my God. So good. Perfect amount of garlic. It's got a little kick to it. This is so good. And make sure I'm going to put a link down below for my pesto sauce. I've made one of these has pestos, my vegan pesto sauce, and then the bruschetta. I have another one here that has cream cheese, my cashew cream cheese, the vegan pesto, and then the bruschetta on top. I will put a link to both of those videos as soon as they are posted down below. I hope you guys love this recipe as much as I do. Make sure to comment down below and let me know what you thought of today's video and the recipe. If you try it, how delicious you think it is. Please keep all of your comments coming. I appreciate them. I can't tell you enough just how much I appreciate them and how encouraging they are for me. Now, thanks for joining me here again in my witchy kitchen. And until we meet again, my friends, remember to be crafty.